In the tranquil embrace of the ancient forest of Lothlórien, where the golden leaves whispered tales of times long past, there dwelt two kindred souls, each on their own path, yet intertwined by fate unknown. Elendar, the gallant elven warrior, a sentinel of the woods, was a figure of commanding presence. His eyes, sharp as the keenest blades, spoke of a world seen through many a dawn and dusk. His life was woven with the storied tapestry of the Eldar, where skill with a bow was passed down as a sacred art, each arrow loosed as a poem to the heavens. Oft did he wander beneath the boughs of Melern, feeling within the very marrow of the earth the quiet strength afforded by these times of peace. Yet beneath this warrior's visage lay a heart that stirred with the whisper of emotions, tugged at by threads he could not yet grasp, a yearning for something beyond the clash of steel and chase of shadow. To the east of the glade, in a glen wafting with the scent of Elendur and Nifredil, lived Arinel, a healer known for her gentle touch and the wisdom that guided it. Her hands moved with a grace that mirrored the flow of time itself, weaving tapestries of healing through songs handed down from earthen roots older than the mountains. Her voice, a melody that could grant peace to even troubled spirits, lingered in the hearts of those she tended. But amidst her healing duties, Arinel found herself drawn to the vastness beyond her patient's calls, a desire to understand the world's vast tapestry beyond its physical bounds. It was not only the cure of the body that she sought, but the balm for the soul. Their lives, though rich and fulfilling, were marked with a longing for that which lay hidden, a symphony unheard, a dream unfelt. In quiet moments stolen beneath the canopy of stars, each felt the absence of a kindred flame, a missing harmony in the song of their lives. Yet, as days stretched into eves, the fates of Elendur and Arinel moved ever closer. For each breath they drew in solitude was a note in the song that would soon bring them together, a song that promised hope in times of gathering darkness, when their union might shine where shadows threatened to consume. And thus, in the ordinary turn of their lives, the seeds were sown for a tale that would entwine their hearts in the grand tapestry of Middle-earth itself. In a moonlit glade, where the argent beams danced upon the gentle ripples of a crystal pool, Elendur found himself drawn by a presence he could not yet name. The night held its breath, as if the very trees and stars paused to witness what might unfold, a moment tethered to threads of destiny. As he stepped silently through the soft undergrowth, his keen eyes caught sight of a slender figure, ethereal and luminous under the canopy of starlight. There stood Arinel, her silhouette framed by the shimmering waters, her voice a soft murmur of ancient songs carried aloft on the breeze. Her hands moved with surety, tending to a small cluster of Nifredil that bloomed at the water's edge, its petals gleaming like the fallen stars. Elendur watched, entranced, as her every motion seemed to echo the music of the ages, an enchantment woven into the fabric of the night. In that hallowed silence, Arinel lifted her gaze, her eyes meeting those of the warrior with a depth that spoke of shared yearning and unspoken truths. A connection sparked, as sudden and profound as the birth of a new dawn upon the world. The air felt charged with unspent words, a binding light in the dark tapestry of the unknown. "A fair eve, brave one," Arinel spoke, her voice like silver bells resounding in the night. "Ere the night is spent, might I share this watch with you, for the shadows cast are heavy, yet together they may yield to the light we bear within." Elendur nodded, stepping forth, his heart alight with a kindred understanding that promised a love as enduring as the stars. So it was that their journey began, upon a path that neither led nor followed, save towards the promise of what lay beyond the gathering. The days in Lothlórien, touched by the light of both sun and star, passed as but a gentle stream winding through the endless wood. Within this time, Elendur and Arinel grew as two trees whose roots converge beneath the earth, bound by the unseen lattice of shared experience and understanding. Their hearts felt the caress of a bond delicate as the first bloom of spring, and yet, like the enduring Melern itself, it promised to weather the ages. Together, they ventured beyond the bounds of their known paths, stepping into the sylvan depths of the wood, where even the whisper of the wind seemed a keeper of secrets long forgotten. A task of camaraderie unfolded when Elendur, charged by those of higher authority, sought guidance and protection for the Elven brethren against whispers of darkness that gathered beyond the borders. He chose not to journey alone, but sought the company of Arinel, whose wisdom and songs were as weapons more potent than the fiercest blade. On the morn of their departure, as the mists clung to the forest floor, they set forth in silence, a silence in which words were unnecessary. For in Arinel's presence, Elendur discovered a language that needed no voice, a communion that sang with the melodies of the forest. Her presence was as the dawn, warding off the prelude of night. The paths they walked were shaded by boughs of gold and green, singing with the chorus of nature's harmony, and thus they trod upon the edges where light and shadow met, testing both skill and strength. Through their trials, as beasts of the wild and remnants of old darkness tested them, they found a rhythm in their unity, one matching the pulse of the earth. Elendur's bow sang with precision, arrows finding their mark as he made a dance of every motion, and Arinel moved through the battlefield with a grace born of centuries. Many a night they would find solace beneath starlit skies, where the whispers of the past wove a tapestry over them. It was in such a night that Arinel, with eyes reflecting the boundless heavens, spoke of her hopes and her fears, how the shadows of Mordor stretch closer, and how the crux of love intertwines with the fate of many. "For in loving we open our souls to the fates," said she, "and though we are but threads in a vast woven tale, our bond may yet bridge the chasm of despair." Elendur, touched by her wisdom, shared the burden of his concealed identity, the lineage he bore not as a weight but as a beacon for Middle-earth's hopeful dawn. Never before had these words passed his lips, yet in Arinel's eyes he found understanding and acceptance as the river finds the sea. Thusly their night watches were punctuated by moments of profound clarity. In quiet reverie, they crafted songs that spoke of courage and unity, their voices mingling with the gentle rustle of leaves, a testament to all they were and all they might become. As they returned to the Golden Wood, their labors rewarded by newfound respect and hope among their kin, they found the trees of Lothlórien sang a different song. For within the forest, a warmth spread like the blush of dawn, kindred to a love that dared the foreboding shadows. Their journey had only begun, each trial preparing them for the greater battles yet unseen, and while the road ahead loomed long and fraught with perils, they found strength and solace in the bond they had forged, a beacon in the gathering gloom, steadfast as the stars themselves. For whether in light or shadow, their hearts beat as one, anchoring them to the promise of a brighter morning for the Eldar, as enduring and sacred as the land that cradled them. Beneath the arching boughs of Lothlórien, where moonbeams wove silver pathways upon the forest floor, the air grew heavy with an unspoken tension. The golden leaves, once vibrant in their whisperings, now carried the weight of unvoiced fears and hidden doubts. As the night deepened, so too did the shadows lurking within the hearts of Elendur and Arinel. It was in such a harrowing dusk that the first rift appeared, a quiet ripple in their hitherto harmonious bond. Elendur stood by the crystal pool where they first met, the chill of the water's surface mirroring the unease that had settled upon him. Arinel's absence, though brief, had begun to gnaw at the edges of his confidence, a subtle reminder of the vulnerability love brings. He recalled her words, spoken softly amidst the night blooms, "For in loving, we open our souls to the fates." They haunted him now, for Elendur knew too well the power of fate, and the heavy burden of his heritage weighed upon the scarlet thread of their burgeoning love. The secrets he bore, linked to a destiny not entirely his own, threatened to unravel the tapestry of trust they had woven. Yet not only did external shadows encroach upon their union, in Arinel's heart grew a whisper of doubt, nurtured by the echoes of ancient songs and the visions glimpsed in fitful dreams. As healer and songkeeper, she felt the shifting tides of fortune, the tremors of an approaching storm. The knowledge Merlin bestowed upon her seemed incomplete, a puzzle of verses with missing pieces. Was their love sufficient to endure the brewing tempest? Would their bond withstand the shearing winds of fate? The days passed like the fading warmth of a fire's embers, with neither Elendur nor Arinel speaking of the shadows that stretched between them. Silence wrapped around them like a shroud, turning moments of shared solace into mirrored introspection. Together they walked the emerald paths of Lothlórien, yet alone they wandered within their own minds. It was during this time that through the leaves came whispers of change. Scouts spoke of dark tremors on the borders, orcs marauding as if loosed from darkness deeper than the earth itself. Against these threats, the elven kin prepared, bows strung to sing of defiance, the light of their eyes a beacon against encroaching night. In response, Elendar felt the call of duty clash with the call of the heart. Fear for Arinel, that she might come to peril, gnawed at him, urging him to protect her by standing apart. Yet the irony was not lost upon him. Such fears only served to deepen the chasm he wished to bridge. And so the conflict raged within and around them, a silent battle fought not with blades but with glances, words not spoken, and hands almost reaching yet hesitating at the last. Thus came a night when both knew they could not continue in silence. Beneath a canopy where starlight pierced the dark, they met, shadows playing on their features, illuminating through contrast the truths they hadn't uttered. "Elendar," she began, her voice as steady as the music in her soul, "there is a storm fated to come, and though we have strength, it is but part when hearts stand divided." He looked at her then, the myriad of emotions churning in the depths of his gaze like hidden currents. "I fear for what I cannot protect, Arinel. My duty looms threatening the sanctuary we have built." Their silence spoke volumes, a dialogue of the heart laid bare. Arinel stepped closer, her hand finding his. A simple gesture, yet it carried the promise of unyielding resolve. "We cannot steel ourselves against the world by breaking apart, Elendar," she said gently. "Together, we must weave strength from our love. Let it be the song that binds us through this darkness." In that moment, the truth of her words kindled within Elendar, casting light upon the doubts that time and fear had sown. He felt the warmth of her presence dispel the chill in his heart. In that stillness, beneath a tapestry of ancient stars, Elendar felt as if the very earth beneath him had shifted, revealing a path that was both daunting and resplendent. The roots of the mighty melon seemed to thrum with encouragement, whispering secrets of an age-old truth. Where love finds courage, it transcends even the darkest of fates. Arinel's gaze held him fast, as unwavering as the mountains, and in her eyes he glimpsed the steadfast love that nourished his weary soul. The forest around them seemed to listen, a gathering of unseen spirits sharing in the solemn exchange, the wind a gentle caress upon their resolute silence. "As long as this spirit endures, undimmed by fear or shadow," he murmured, drawing her nearer, "we shall meet the storm, unmoved." His voice, soft as the night's whisper, bore the weight of vows unsaid. With their fingers intertwined, they stood united before the horizon, a testament as enduring as Arda itself. In that binding touch, they found strength anew, a promise enshrined in the heart of Lothlórien. Days hence, under the watchful boughs of the great trees, Elendar and Arinel prepared for what was to come. Side by side, they rallied the elves of their realm, each lending their gifts to fortify hearts and arms against the encroaching dark. Elendar's arrows sang through the air, a melody of resolve. With deft hands, Arinel tended to spirit and flesh alike, each touch a balm whispering of hope. In whispers shared beneath the moon's gaze, strategies and dreams merged, each plan a thread weaving the grander tapestry of resistance. Conversations woven with the lilt of ancient songs bolstered their kin, and tales of past victories shared by luminous fires served to remind them all that the forest had weathered many a shadowed storm. As the first light of dawn broke upon the canopy, soft and golden, it found courage rekindled in the hearts of the elves. Elendar and Arinel stood at the fore, bound by love as much as by shared purpose. And thus it was that within the heart of Middle-earth a turning point was marked, not by grand proclamations, but by the quiet resolve of two souls daring the storm. Their love, a beacon unmarred by the looming tempest, became the cornerstone upon which hope was built anew. For in the weaving of their fates, they had discovered a truth as old as time, that in unity lay the greatest strength, enough to challenge even the deepest shadow. Amidst the twilight that draped the golden wood, a new dawn awaited, for on the eve of battle, the air was charged with the promise of legends yet unwritten. Elendar and Arinel, beacons bright against the night, stood at the forefront of their kin, their hearts entwined with the hopes of many. The dark forces of Mordor, a shadow vast and menacing, crept towards the borders of Lothlórien, threatening to engulf the sanctity of the forest. Yet from their union, a flame was kindled, unwavering in the face of despair. Elendur's bow, a symphony of defiance, called to arms those whose hearts were bold. Each arrow loosed was a defiant chord struck against the silence of impending doom. By his side, Arinel's melody of healing wove through their ranks, a soothing balm to spirits wearied by the specter of war. As the first clash reverberated through the ancient wood, a symphony of courage rose in defiance. The elves of Lothlórien, steeped in the songs of ages, met the dark tide not with fear, but with the light of unity. Elendur's arrows found their mark amidst the shadows, guided by the strength of a love that endured all trials. Beside him, Arinel's hands moved with grace, weaving life where darkness sought to claim. In the heart of the conflict, their bond shone like a star, kindling in the void, a testament to the power that true unity bestows. As the battle raged and their voices sang through the storm, the strength of two hearts bound by love became the beacon that led the way, proving that even amid encroaching night, the light of hope could never be extinguished.